Hi guys. So I wanted to talk a little bit about weight and how to know what is the perfect size for, well, how I know for me, and I think what can help guide other women as well. The thing about it is we live in a time where you can be perceived as a 10 at any like shape, right? Any size. We live in a time in 2024 where any size can be considered a 10. Okay. I have been many different sizes in my life. My biggest was a size 20, and I was about 275 at that time. And I was, in my mind, a 10. I thought I was gorgeous at that size. I had no problems at all in my social life, in my dating life, attracting in beautiful men, things like that. Okay, so it's not about you can get any kind of clothes you want at any size. That's a little bit of a stretch, but for the most part, like, you can find really cute stuff at almost any size. And so for me, determining what is the right weight for me to carry is not based off of society's expectations, or like, I'm not pretty if I'm not this size. It's not that way for me. For me, what helps me figure out where I want to be in my physical weight is how I feel, which I think is pretty obvious to people, but I don't know if people really take it into account enough. When I'm at the right weight for me, I'm not too skinny and I'm not too heavy. I feel light in my skin, and like light and cool in my skin, and like energetic, but still like grounded to the ground. And when I'm the right weight, I'm not tired. I have good energy. I mean, even like stick ass skinny people get tired, but like a good amount of energy, the ability to do all of the things I love to do in my life, my arts and work, and just having a social life. I feel like when I'm at the right weight, I have good energy for life. Another thing is, like, when I was I've struggled a little bit with some anxiety, which I think a lot of people go through. And something that happened to me was I had developed like an issue of like sweating, basically like sweating in my forehead and in my head, called hyperhidrosis. And that was connected to anxiety, but it was also connected to being bigger than was really ideal for me. I think what confused me, that's what I mean by, like, you'll feel cool in your body. You'll feel cool, you'll feel light, you'll feel energetic. It's the right weight for you. You'll find that you are your most sexy, hot, attractive at the perfect weight for you, which will surprise you. For me, like, anything under a size 8, 8, 10, I start getting comments like, you look too skinny. Where did your curves go? Under like an 8, 9. I really don't look my best, even though, there's a lot of people that could argue, whatever, like, you're an Asian woman, you should be skinny, or something like that, because of what people think about different cultures and races and stuff. So for me, it's, and also I feel starving. Like, when I go below an 8, I start to feel hungry all the time. I just don't feel good. So I've come to find, like, my ideal shape is like anywhere between probably like a 10 and a 14, honestly. Like, anywhere in between a size 10 and a 14, I start to feel really good. I feel well in my body, and I look my best. I'm able to retain my curves, which, I do not want to give up easily. They are my, what do you call it? I used to hate them growing up. Everyone used to make fun of me. I was teased and bullied and excluded because I think everyone was secretly jealous, because all those girls that teased me went on to get plastic surgery and things like that to look curvy. But in my high school, I was the curviest one. And so I was teased and all that stuff. And so I grew up with all kinds of body like complexes, only to come to find, like, I actually really love my curves and I wouldn't want any other shape than I have. And that's kind of the good thing too about weight loss, is like, you can get bigger or smaller and kind of retain a similar shape. Not, for me at least. I mean, yeah, anyway. So the point being that for me, my best size, my most attractive, alluring, magnetic size, the size that I'm the most healthy at, the size that I don't feel really hungry or super full. I feel like good. Like I feel like I'm eating enough, but I feel well. The size that I have like the most game, like as a, a woman in my dating life, things like that, is actually a lot bigger than society and people have told me to be. And so I don't make those calls based off what anyone in society tells me. I'm not like, oh, guys like me more at a size 14, so I'm going to be a 14. It's not that way. These are just observations I've made. I have noticed I get the most attention when I'm a little bigger. But, you balance that with, most importantly, how you feel. You can, if you are a size 20 and you like, for example, here's another good example to describe this. When I was at my biggest, like, I felt also like out of balance in my body. Sometimes I would feel like my bones like were not strong enough to hold up all that weight. I mean, 275, I'm 5'5", so that's a lot of weight. Did I look beautiful? Yes. Could I get any guy I wanted at 275? 100%. But it was like, it just didn't feel like my bone structure. I felt like this is probably not working for me and for my genetics. But the same thing happened to me when I was too thin. When I used to, way back in the day, I used to starve myself. I struggled with atypical anorexia and bulimia, but I've since completely recovered. But I remember my bones were so like fragile that I literally was walking down the street, just stepped off a curb, like it wasn't even a large curb, just a normal curb, and fucking broke my foot because my bones were just like so fragile. Like I was just, at the time I was probably again like a size 7, which, in my culture, being Korean, people would be like, that's chubby. A size 7, 8, that's chubby. For me, a size 7, 8 is skinny. And it was, my bones could not handle it. So that's how I know too, is like in a very practical, real sense, you start to lose your best health, vibrancy, and strength if you're too underweight or too overweight. So all I'm trying to say, you guys, do not let society dictate to you. Don't let anybody's beauty opinions. People have different opinions. It's fine. I never take offense to it when people say, you know what, I like super skinny girls or, whatever. I'm like, okay, like it doesn't offend me. Everyone can have their preferences and opinions. The only one that matters is you. Like you have to be your personal preference and opinion. But I think what should guide that mostly is your best health, feeling good in your body, feeling confident, calm, cool, light, but grounded. And when you do all of that, you'll come to find the weight that you're supposed to be. It will be the weight that is most effortless for you to maintain. It is not hard for me to maintain a size 12 or 14. I can pretty much eat almost anything I want, pretty much, which I pretty much fucking do. But pretty much, because it's so natural for me to be in that weight. And that is where I have I don't have any health problems. People have made a lot of assumptions about me because I'm curvy. Oh, you must have diabetes. You must have health problems. I don't have diabetes. I don't have health problems. I am in absolutely perfect health. And that is validated to me every time I go to the doctor. So, and I never get sick. Like in the past 5 years, I only got COVID. That was I have not had a sniffle, the flu, nothing. So it's so important to understand that your ideal weight is something you know only. Your society doesn't know that. People's preferences do not know that. Only you know where you feel the best and where you're the most healthy and you feel like, you can pretty much eat pretty much what you want, like obviously if you want to have a more healthy bin, that's fine, whatever, but that's for a completely different video. You guys know I'm not into dieting. I'm not into restricting. I'm not into eating disorders or super big calorie restrictions. I'm not into any of that. So I just wanted to put my 2 cents out there about that because I feel inspired to share like where I get, more of my body confidence from. Bye guys.